Alrighty, just to be mindful of everybody's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. There might be a few more of us coming in, but I have a couple housekeeping, so I'll go over that really quick. Welcome to everyone to the second installment of Arbor Talks. We're going to be approaching the topic of passing the torch here with officer elections off the ground. My name is Jessica Vasher, and I am the Community Engagement Manager here at Gleaner Life, and I'm excited to get started, but let me just do a couple housekeeping. Please be sure to stay muted during this time to have us experience a seamless meeting. We will be opening up the floor for Q&A at the end, and in that time, we'll ask you to unmute. For everybody joining here today on the Teams application, I'd like you to get familiar with raising your hand. There is an icon of a little hand, and if you click it, that lets me know that you'd like to speak, and it also tells me who is in line to speak next. So please familiarize yourself with that just to help us overall. In addition to that, there is a chat option. I know some of us might not be wanting to speak up. So if you'd like to, go ahead and send us a chat, and I'll go ahead and send a little response there to let you know where that's at. Once there is a chat, I'd be happy to read that question out to the group. And last but not least, be sure that you stick around till the end for a small appreciation of the time that we've gathered here today. I'd like to take just a quick minute to introduce my team and ask that they give a little wave in recognition. We're going to start off here with Leandra Bryan. She's our Senior Community Engagement Specialist. She's been here with Gleaner for 7 years, and she is an incredible asset to our team for her knowledge and recollection. I know I rely heavily on that, especially some of the past weeks, and I am thankful for her memory. Up next, we have Kristen Reed, the Community Engagement Specialist. She's been here at Gleaner for 5 years. However, she made the transition to community engagement about 2 years ago, and her organization benefits our department so much, and we're so thankful that she joined our team. Now that we're all properly acquainted, I'd like to pass the mic over to Leandra to give details on how the Arbor can approach using a SWOT analysis to help make the Arbor more successful during this officer election time.
Yes. So passing the torch for the Arbor is a vital process to help with growth and sustainability. It involves transitioning leadership and responsibilities to new officers and members, fostering a culture of mentorship and knowledge transfer. As the Arbor starts to look ahead to the new year and possibly new Arbor leadership, it's important to take a look at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, also known as a SWOT analysis. Completing a SWOT analysis can be crucial for service groups such as your Arbor to prepare for the new year. It provides a comprehensive understanding of the group's internal strengths, weaknesses, as well as your external opportunities and threats. By doing so, the Arbor can set realistic goals, allocate resources effectively for donations and impact activities, and develop strategies that align with the community and the Arbor's capabilities. Ultimately, a well-executed SWOT analysis helps the group start the new year with a clear strategic direction. As you sit down as a group, here are some questions for each category to consider. I'm going to share my screen real quick with what a SWOT analysis looks like, because I have some questions that you can kind of break down when you're reviewing it in the process. For your strengths, what is the Arbor's most successful programs or projects? Think about not only this year, but in the past. Are there activities you want to bring back? Are there things you want to move forward with continuing to do? What is the Arbor doing well? What resources, such as skills, people, equipment, do you have that set you apart? Especially if you're one of those Arbors that is in an area that has other local Arbors as well. For weaknesses, is there areas the Arbor needs to improve? How effective do you communicate with the group and with your external partners? What limitations does the Arbor face in terms of funding or resources? For opportunities, what community needs are currently underserved that you can address? Is there that group or organization that really needs an extra hand that your Arbor can partner with to make a project with? Are there Same kind of concept. Are there new partnerships or collaborations that you haven't done in the past that you may want to pursue? How can the Arbor use social media or other digital tools to increase your impact, not only with growing membership, but possibly attendance at your events? For your threats, what are some roadblocks the Arbor is facing? And how do fluctuating volunteer commitment levels impact not only your Arbor membership, but also your projects and volunteerism? For additional information about a SWOT analysis, please reference the September edition of the Friday Focus. I'm now going to pass the mic back over to Jessica with some tips on transitioning into new Arbor officer roles.
Well, thank you, Leandra, for that great SWOT analysis breakdown. I'm going to talk about how the Arbor can successfully pass the torch during an officer election. As you all have received, election packets should have went out, and if you haven't, please let us know. But they did go out a few weeks ago, and you should be starting the conversations regarding the current officer slate and seeing if there's anybody interested in participating in the next cycle, 2025-2026. While some Arbors will not experience a change in officer roles, some of you might be anticipating that. And so we're going to offer some tips here, and hopefully that will help you have a smooth transition for those new officers joining the team. In order to have a successful transition, officers need to have a planned and clear communication and focus on continuity. One critical element of a smooth transition is actively involving your outgoing officers in the process. Here are a few tips for officers to ensure an effective handover of roles. Request that your outgoing officer provide a detailed list of their responsibilities and duties. A well-documented outline of key tasks will help support a smooth transition for the incoming officer. Politely ask that the outgoing officer complete any open tasks before their departure to prevent unfinished work from hindering any future progress. Encourage the outgoing officer to mentor the incoming officer, establishing a solid foundation for the future. The mentorship provides an effective opportunity to transfer critical knowledge, and the outgoing officer should be available for questions and dedicated to supporting that transition. Arbors should also foster confidence in their new officers by providing them with the necessary resources, tools, and anything that will help success in their new role. Lastly, I would recommend hosting a small contribution party for the officers that are outgoing for appreciation of their acknowledge and their time and their dedication to serving the Arbor. Now, I know sometimes officers leave and you won't have that ability to have that transfer of knowledge. And in this case, we would refer you back to the officer role packet. Inside of that packet is a detailed list of what officer roles entail and their duties. Now, we do understand that Arbors are self-governed, and sometimes that role list that we included might not be how you operate. So in those opportunities, it's just really critical to have clear communication and make it a top priority to ensure that the transition is smooth. And in addition to that, community engagement is always open to one-on-one training. We can do it in person when feasible, or also we're always available virtually. So be sure to reach out to us should you need any additional guidance here from the home office. Now, I'd like to go ahead and welcome Dawn Opsel of Madison Arbor. She's going to go ahead and give a perspective of the time commitment for an Arbor secretary and how Madison is making bigger impacts in their community. Welcome, Dawn. Dawn, you're on mute.
Oh, there we go. I find the time commitment, we're kind of a well-oiled machine here. I feel like I've been secretary since like maybe 2002. So, by now, I should have it under control, but, you're meeting monthly and you pretty much have it. As long as you put an agenda together and you know what you're going to talk and any address, issues you need to address for that month, you want to have a plan going into it. So then that can make your minutes a lot easier, because then you're just answering whatever is on your agenda. You could poll your officers prior to every meeting and, just be like, hey, is there anything that I need to put on the agenda, get on the agenda, any topics, ask your membership about anything, concerns that they want to talk about. So you can make sure to get that out ahead of time so everybody knows what we're talking about. Obviously, things can come up as well, but that helps a lot on completing the minutes in a timely manner. Because right after the meeting, you have everything. If you have to, get in touch with a few people then the next day to just kind of tie up loose ends so you can get that in your report, that makes it easy as well. So just basically kind of creating a little process before each meeting of what you want to accomplish. And that's it. Like I do the secretary and the treasury. So it's kind of the same in the treasury. You're just paying bills. You've got, a running list there on the Excel sheet they provide, and you're balancing it with your bank statement. So you're always going to have an up-to-date list to provide at any moment if membership requests it. And successful, like our officers, geez, I should have went back and looked at the history. Our officers have been officers for, I'm going to say at least 5 years. I feel like the same people have been, going through, it might even be 10 years. And not a lot of people really want to be an officer. Maybe they think it's going to take too much time, or they really just don't have the time to commit anyway. They're very busy. We're based in a school district, so it is kind of hard for people to, have that same block of time and availability like we do. We're in the office, so it's a little bit easier for us. And I do believe we do a good job of, even though there's not a lot of change in officers, I think we're always willing to change, and we know the world is constantly changing. So we are very open to each other. We're very open to our membership coming to us and being like, hey, I'd like to see us do this, or I'd like to see us support this. And we are very willing to take a look at everything. Right now, our impact activities have kind of stayed the same since Gleaner had changed the whole process, of what you report and went to the impact activities. We have an ice cream social at an elderly center, a senior center here in our community, and we do that every summer. And while that doesn't bring a lot of attendance, as far as our attendance is probably under 100, maybe every time, maybe a couple times we've gotten over 100. Like, those people love us, and they constantly, they're reaching out to us like, okay, when's the day? We need to get it on our calendar. And so we never want to give up that event. But so that's a good event. We do a Santa pause, and everybody loves that. That does really bring the community out. We hold it here at the school, and it's always the first Saturday on December, and everybody brings their pets, any kind of pets. We had some lizards, I think, last year. We've had all kinds of pets get their pictures with Santa, and that's been a great one, and people absolutely love and look forward to that. We give them a picture right there, but then we also, all the takes that are involved in trying to get their animal to actually look at the camera, we post those on our Facebook page as well, so they can go download anything they want. Another big event that has a lot of attendance is we host a trunk or treat here at the school. So obviously, with being a K-12 school, you're going to get a lot of people attending that. We put it in our newsletter, but we get a lot of community people too from the area. And that's like I said, a big one, as you can imagine. Who doesn't want to trick or treat for free and, go from trunk to trunk to get candy? Another one that we just changed it up this year because we took a look at what we were doing. We had been doing a law enforcement appreciation event for, about 6 years, I think, 6 or 7 years. And the first year that we did it, we had under 20 officers come. Obviously, we must not have done a great job at advertising. And then we learned from our mistake, and then, put out flyers to all, like we delivered, I believe, that year, flyers to everybody, all the community police officers in our county. And we had over 100 people attend that, 100 officers. I mean, there was more than 100 people, but like that, everybody got a free T-shirt that attended. There were door prizes. I mean, they didn't have to pay for any raffles or anything like that. They came, signed, filled out tickets. They went in for raffles. We had catered, like hors d'oeuvres. And so then that went, like that second year, like I said, was over 100. Then it kind of went down to 29, 26, 32, 26. So then we're like, oh, maybe it's kind of like, maybe we're done here. And so we really wanted to concentrate on first responders, though. We feel that is a very important part and our community. So then this year we're trying firefighters. So that event is October 10th. And we've sent out notifications to, I believe, all the county. Like we had kind of talked, and like maybe we're biting off more than we can chew, because we are we have a very small base of people that are able to volunteer. Like we're talking like less than 10. So sometimes that can be the struggle. But we talked about just doing it to our Adrian area, our city area. There's about 3 fire stations in our area, I believe. And I do believe we ended up doing it to the entire county. So we will see how this plays out, but we're hoping to get a big attendance and reach more people than we have been doing in the past years. And then we'll go from there. Those are kind of our big things that we kind of keep doing every year. Little things like scholars. I mean, we do scholarships for the seniors every year. Sometimes they're $500 a piece. Sometimes they're $250 a piece. We've been fortunate enough that we've been able to allocate for the past few years $3,000 towards that for the graduating seniors. So about 5 or 6 students get picked for those scholarships. And we also do Thanksgiving baskets. We have the school district that we're in reach out to about 30 families is our goal to feed. So they kind of, they talk to the teachers and they know that the families who are struggling. So every Thanksgiving we provide a basket, but that's about it.
Well, thank you, Dawn. A couple things I wrote down when you were talking about the great things that Madison does is some points I want to bring up is the fact that you guys are fluid and you pivoted. So you found that the event wasn't working. So you essentially did a SWOT analysis on that event and realized that you needed to pivot and move forward. So well done for that. And hopefully it's successful here on October 10th. But also another thing I'd like to bring up, and just as a reminder to all the Arbors here, Madison Arbor really utilizes our marketing department for their flyers. And I'll be honest, some of the flyers that our team here have come up with have been for Madison Arbor. So just a reminder that the marketing department here is here for you to create any of the flyers that you may need. And they do a really fantastic job with that. Also, I'm very partial to Santa Paws because I have participated a couple of years. It's one of my favorite events. That is it for the presentation here, but I am going to go ahead and pass it over to Kristen. She's going to give us some ideas on how the Arbors can participate in the Random Acts of Kindness on October 12th for the Society's birthday.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Jessica. So as we gear up to celebrate our 130th birthday in October, we invite you to join us in spreading kindness throughout our communities. And here's a few ideas to get you started. You could take a walk or a hike and pick up trash to help beautify local parks and trails. You could also show appreciation by bringing thank you treats or snacks to your local fire department or police station. Like Dawn referenced earlier, they do their event in October, and National First Responders Day is celebrated on October 28th. So you could also use this day to support your local departments. In honor of our 130th birthday, you could donate 130 cans of dog or cat food to a local animal shelter, or contribute 130 cans of a non-perishable food item to a nearby food pantry, helping those in the need. And then in honor of this milestone, these small acts of kindness will make a big impact in your community. And also don't forget, we have the perfect promo items for all your events. If you would like assistance with preparing these items, I'm happy to help you. Just be sure to email us at Community Engagement if you need your Arbor's remaining promo allowance balance for the year. We encourage you to utilize your Arbor's promo allowance and celebrate with us as we spread kindness in our communities.
Great job, Kristen. So that's it for the presentation today, but we'd like to open the floor for any Q&A regarding the topics from this afternoon, or just any general questions regarding the Samaritan program. Now, just a reminder, if you'd like to participate in discussion, I just ask that you raise your hand if available so that I know who to call on. But if you don't have that option, go ahead and unmute. I am watching the participation list here, and if I see that you unmute, I'll go ahead and call out your name. Or if you're shy, feel free to use the chat icon. Oh, we must have done a good job. No questions today so far. If you find that you have a question after the presentation today, feel free to email Community Engagement. We'd be happy to send that out to, we'll respond to you, but then also maybe address it in the next Friday Focus. So with that, we have Dorothy Kelly, actually. I'm going to go ahead and pause my outro. And Dorothy Kelly, go ahead and unmute. Or Luckett, Dorothy Luckett. I apologize for that, Dorothy. Go ahead and unmute and ask your question. You're not unmuted, Dorothy, and I'm not sure if you're speaking, but if you're unfamiliar how to, there should be a little mic icon. Oh, it's not letting you unmute. Okay. Let's see if I can get that changed for you. Leandra, you might have to see if you can change the settings mid-video. But go ahead and put your question in the chat, Dorothy. I'd be happy to read it aloud for you. Fortunately, I can't unmute you. Oh, good question. Are there any Gleaner specific birthday items? There's not anything, well, unless Kristen wants to take this one, but there's not anything birthday related, but there are definitely some items that we could probably include in maybe a birthday basket or a birthday bag if you were making such items for that. I know we have a lot of really fun items that have been newer to the department here. Thank you, Kristen. But it would just really depend on what you're looking to do. We have a lot, I guess. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. But yes, if you're interested in talking that through, Kristen's a great individual to know our products really well and kind of chat about how Gleaner items can be transformed into a birthday opportunity. All right. I think we're good. If there are any questions, just go ahead and hit that while I'm just kind of signing us off here. But thank you for joining with us today. Like I mentioned, we're going to be highlighting this webinar in the Future Friday Focus, and we'll also be including a YouTube link for this video today after some quick editing. We did have another chat come in here, and they're asking if they can reach out to Dawn about Santa Paws. Be happy to provide your information, Dawn, if you're okay with that, to Tracy so that they can get more details about that event offline. And just wanted to let you guys know that the next webinar series is December 4th. So part of today, we did invite Dawn Opsel to give a brief overview of the topic that she covered. And we're always interested in Arbor members that would like to participate moving forward. So if you are interested, look for that registration going out here soon and just indicate that you'd like to participate. Also, as we plan for 2025, we're going to be sending out a survey as just a recap of this series and really looking for Arbor involvement and engagement in what you're looking for, topics you'd like to see us cover, availability, and just overall all engagement for this webinar series. We want to make sure that we are available to everybody. And if we need to mix up some of the times, we're happy to do so. So look forward to that and giving us your honest feedback for that. That's it for today. Let me just make sure that I have addressed. We've got Stu Stewart with his hand raised. Stu, if you can go ahead and unmute and answer your question.
Yeah, I just had a question for Dawn. When you do the thing with the police officers and the firefighters, do you recognize like a firefighter or a police officer of the year?
You know, I never thought about picking out a specific like one for police officer or firefighter of the year. I would have to think that if we were going to do that, we would have to ask the departments to put forth, you know, like somebody nominate somebody. That's an and we've never thought about that. Yeah, no, we just honor them all. But that's a great idea. That's something to think about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stu, for raising your hand. That's so helpful.
My pleasure.
And if there are no other,
something that fascinated me.
That's what we're hoping these webinars are helping. You know, they're giving you guys new ideas, maybe gleaning some information from the presentations today. So I'm happy to hear that a couple of you are interested in what Madison Arbor is doing and maybe taking that back to your arbors. We have Michael Drayton raising your hand. Go ahead and unmute.
Hi, guys. Just a real quick question. I'm kind of new, trying to figure out, hopefully starting an Arbor, Jessica, as you know. So my question is, what are the best avenues? You know, as you look, you know, Dawn has mentioned that she's been doing this 5 years in terms of as a secretary. But as you look out into the community, I know everything's going to be based on the community needs. But what are the pillars where you see the most effectiveness getting the Gleaner philanthropic name out there?
Well, I know I can just briefly talk on this. If anybody else would like to unmute and participate, I welcome that. But Dawn, like she had mentioned, she is a school-based group. And so most of their active members have some kind of role within the school. Like she said, office. I know there is maybe a couple teachers involved and they're actively engaging those individuals. So that works really well for them. Some other successful groups that we've had are church groups. You know, they have that core like-mindedness that they're able to use that to then reach out to individuals. As far as the successful groups that they're engaging, I know personally here with our Arbor, we engage a lot with our senior homes locally. We try to touch one of them different every year. That tends to be the one that we're building those rapport with. I know Dawn mentioned their ice cream social and how that group continuously looks forward to their event. It's really just finding those relationships that you can build in making those connections. Our last webinar really talked about building those relationships, and then hopefully that turns into a successful partnership moving forward. So I hope I answered your question, and I'd welcome any of the other Arbor members to participate at this time.
Jessica, Stu here. In our group, we got two of our members are very close working with their church youth groups. So we work with their youth groups in doing mission trips or different projects around the community to help them. The particular one that I personally work with is the pantry at the church that my wife and I attend. And we go in once a year and pack what we call a gift bag, which has personal care items in it for the street people. We also go in once a year and provide a dinner at their kitchen for the entire group. We generally feed 50 to 75 people that way. So, you know, any interest that somebody on your committee has is a good starting place to go.
Does that answer your question, Michael?
It did, Jessica. Because I was unable to join the first webinar, or I'd like to have an opportunity if you could send me that so I can view that to garner those nuggets of wisdoms that were presented a couple months ago. Thank you.
Yes. I would be happy to do that. And for anybody who doesn't know, Michael Drayton is also a really great agent here for Gleaner based out of Georgia. So we're excited at having conversations of starting an Arbor, our first Arbor in Georgia, and hopefully we look forward to that in the future. If there are no other questions, I'll just one more time recap. Our next one is December 4th. Look forward to that registration coming out soon. Look forward to the survey. We'd love your candid feedback regarding the series so that we can better it for 2025. And with that, I'm going to ask Kristen to go ahead and announce our lucky attendee today for a small prize for attending.
All right. So our winner today is Stu Stewart. So look forward to that gift card in the mail in the next week. Congratulations.
Well, thank you again, everyone. Yes, congratulations, Stu. If there's anything you need, let us know. We're always here to support our arbors for any opportunity that we can. And I just want to say, I hope the sun is shining where you're at. It is shining here in Adrian, Michigan. So it's a beautiful day. And we're going to let you go so that you can enjoy the rest of it. So take care, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks.